I don't know how many of you have read Youthquake. Neither do I know how many of you have actually tried the new DivineZ or how many of you have actually, gone into trying this deck. But I'm really hooked, but my wallet isn't. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm for here. Today I am back to cover Soul Awakening card Leuhan or Leuhan. It really depends on whether you're reading or playing this deck, but it kind of changes a lot. Today we're going to talk about Triple Drive Booster's second deck, because yes, I didn't forget this. I know I covered Zedo Lancer before the DivineZ announcement, but I wanted to cover this after the DivineZ announcement because I feel this is the deck that definitely has much more meta staying power, and it's proven by this deck's price point. It is very, very expensive. I mean that. This deck is literally unaffordable. If you try and buy this deck yourself by a singles, just for the Leuhan playset and its relevant support, I think it upwardsly cost you about 20k yen, maybe higher. Is it 20k yen? Is that correct? I'm not too sure right now. The prices may have changed right now. But this deck is definitely not cheap at all. Like it is not. It's not something you should practically be spending on. You can definitely spend on much more different meta decks. But for those of you who are true fans of Youthquake, myself may be counting, we are going to go through this deck and show you what it can do. Leuhan does actually benefit a lot from the DivineZ 54 rule, in the sense that you will see that he actually wants to have a lot of bloat in his deck. He actually wants a lot of garnets to stay in his deck, and that will allow him to actually plus and succeed even further. So we'll get into that. So for our right deck, we obviously play an Energy Crest, but as I mentioned before, I don't actually have the physical one yet, so you won't be able to actually see one, but just know that yes, there's supposed to be one. If you want to know more about Energy and the new 54 rule, please check out the link in the description for my video explaining the DivineZ rules. But other than that, you also have a Grade 0 Leuhan starter, Grade 1 Leuhan, Grade 2 Leuhan, and of course Grade 3 Leuhan. Yeah, so I'm going to go through the skills one by one. Grade 0 Leuhan is obviously just your original D series starter, but you kind of need to play this guy. It's kind of essential for you to actually play him, but okay, that being said, that out of the way, let us continue once and for all. This is Dreaming Bonds Leuhan, and then when we start off, this is Hardworking Bonds Leuhan. Okay, so when this unit is rolled upon by a grade 2 unit with Leuhan in its name, you can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards in your deck, choose up to one Soul Rinsing Spring of Dragons, which is basically this specific order. It's a dragon, Leo Spring that they can go and rinse and become dragons, or you can actually just choose a grade 2 or less card without Sentinel and put it in your hand. So it's a lot like Youthquake in that sense. You either look for a specific card that's part of the strategy or just a grade 2 or lower. And a low cost will Soul Blast 1 from the top 5. Because your deck has risen to 40 to 54 cards, it is a lot more easier to actually hit these targets, and you will see on this deck we've really shaped it around. Your grade 3 pool is really your win cons as well as your garnets. Your grade 2 and lowest are the basic cards that you always play. So just keep that in mind. No matter what, you can always just add it to your hand, and it's always a nice +1. Our grade 2 that we play is going to be, this is Guard Running Through the Earth Leuhan. In case it really wasn't clear, Leuhan is kind of more based off Mongolians, in the sense that he's more of a nomadic tribe kind of guy that goes around on his horse fighting, goes find springs and stuff, and then somehow there's a dragon involved. So yeah, in case you guys didn't realize that he's supposed to be a step lander, for those of you who know the history, yeah, that's pretty much about it. When this unit is rolled upon by a grade 3 Leuhan in its name, choose one of your Vanguards and reduce that unit's original ability by 1 counterblast. Yes! Gandiva is always with you, no matter where you go, wherever you are. Gandiva loves you, Gandiva cares for you, and most importantly, his skill is being used again. So that is basically about it. It's really simple. You only play this for the Leuhan deck. I don't think I need to explain that, but yeah, that's pretty much about it. And last but very not least, we have Soul Awakening Guard Leuhan. There's quite a lot of text, so I'm going to go through it slowly. Please bear with me. Act once per turn, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to grade 2 card with Marris in its card name and call it to the rearguard circle and shuffle the deck. So for one Soul Blast, you will always get Marris's horse. Leuhan's horse, whose name is Marris. And yeah, that's basically it. It's just one Soul Blast to always get it. I know what you may be thinking, what's the big deal with one guy's horse? Well, if you've ever been a fan of Vanguard and you know about the King of Knights Alfred, it's because you put the man on the horse. At the end of the bell, this unit attack, Counterblast 1 and move 1 Grade 2 rearguard with Marris in its name into the soul from your rearguards. Search your deck or hand for 1 Grade 3 or greater card with Leuhan and Marris in its card name. Write it as stand. Oopsie daisy. Put the Until the end of the turn, the cards revealed for Leuhan Marris' drive checks are going to be put to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn. If you search the deck, you obviously need to shuffle the deck. Yep, so this basically tells you what this entire deck is out to do. Leuhan, after he's gone through his vicious training and finding the dragon soul, he will now become a Soul Awakened guard. He can instantly just summon his horse to his side as long as it's still in his deck. So that's your hint on who you want in your deck. But in addition, you will then move him into the soul and they will fuse together to summon Leuhan Marris. But that's basically about it. It's kind of like a Raging Form Dragon, it's kind of like a Youthquake, it's kind of like an Celestial, but this is definitely way better in my opinion. And I will explain to you why when you actually reach the Grade 3 segment. But that is really all I'm going to share because this deck really talks for itself. So if you want to learn more, just stay tuned. So for our Grade 3 lineup, you can pretty much expect that we are obviously going to be playing 3 copies of Leuhan in the main deck and 1 in the right deck. And then we play 4 copies of Leuhan Marris. I've just gone through Leuhan, so I don't think I need to spend more time talking about him. But I will talk about the combined form together, which will be Soul Awakened Dragon Horse Leuhan Marris. Yep. As strange as it is, this is actually Leuhan. You can actually see him, he's perched on the card right there. But the giant thing is actually Marris. Yep, the man the horse grew into a dragon. Alright guys, the dragon, you've been copyrighted. But other than that, what else are we to see about this card? First of all, there's a difference in this card from its manga counterpart. The manga counterpart was actually Grade 4. Bushiroad, what have you done? You don't even obey on source material. But other than that, what is his actual skills? During your turn, if your soul had Soul Awakened Guard Leuhan, this unit gains 10,000 power. Okay, so as long as you play the game normally, this is going to be a 23k attacker. And that's not bad at all. And he'll attack, and then you can perform Twin Drive again, and then the Twin Drive just go to the bottom of the deck. Or is it? There's a skill to give this guy +1 drive, and we will go into that in a bit. At the end of the turn, choose a Soul Awakened Guard from your soul and write it as red. So basically, you just undo the Revel Dress, / undo the Easter Rite, / undo whatever it is. Leuhan Marris breaks off, and it's back to just Leuhan on the board. Marris just goes back to becoming a horse. So that's really just about it for how Leuhan Marris works. It's basically just your right target for the skill. There's really not much complexity to him. But you'll be surprised because he costs a lot of money because it's your second triple rare in this deck. Next but not least, we're going to talk about Grade 2s. Our Grade 2s, we obviously play 4 copies of Marris. 1 copy of Leuhan from our right deck. We play 2 copies of Mapil. We play 3 copies of Long the Chat. And then we play 4 copies of T-Volt. So I'm going to have to run through this really quickly because a lot of these are kind of expected / you already know what they do, but yeah, let's don't be about it. We play 2 copies of Maple. For those of you who just watched my PBO deck profile, firstly, thank you. Secondly, yep, this is basically here because your Grade 3's placed. It's going to happen a lot, so you might as well just take advantage of that with Maple. Could even give you extra attacks, maybe. It's up to you. We play 3 copies of Long the Chat. Long the Chat is someone very familiar to us from Graham Grace, from Alden, but why are we playing her here? During your turn, if you have a Grade 3 in your soul, this unit gets boost and 5,000 power. Because we are very rapidly hopping through Leuhan and Leuhan Marris, we more rather than not will always get Grade 3 in soul. So it's very easy to convert this card into a 15k booster or even attacker. Really, this is one of the few cards I would actually recommend you to throw out if you've not reached DivineZ / the new 54 rule. But if you've already joined us, welcome. And secondly, yeah, you can actually play this. But if not, if you're watching this and you're still not in the applicable zone for the new 54 rule / DivineZ, then this is a card you can throw out. We obviously play a copy of Leuhan, before we reach Marris, I just want to talk about T-Volt. T-Volt is a very powerful card. That's very good for Leuhan. When placed on a Vanguard circle, other than from a card's ability, Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. If you play in order this turn, you can Superior Call 1 great to a lower card from among them. Sorry, you can Superior Call anyone from among them. That's a normal unit. If it's an order unit, you can actually choose to add it to hand. So either you can Superior Call a unit, or you can, just add an order, which in this case is going to be Soul Rinsing Spring of Dragons. So generally, it's always good to have T-Vault, and T-Vault scales even more dangerously because when this unit attacks a Great Shield Greater Vanguard, if you have 4 or more units, this unit gains 10,000 power. So it's a 20k beater, and she will be the strongest solo attacker in this deck. So keep that in mind. Last but not least, we have the adorable Marris, because the man on the horse needs a horse. So let's actually talk about Leuhan's friend. Give me a moment. Just need to make sure I got all of these details in. So this is God running through the earth Marris, which is very similar to God running through the earth Leuhan. You can actually see they're exactly the same words. It's just that, this one, they are using the word God in terms of the God person. This is the God in terms of the God horse. But it's literally the same text if you know how to read Japanese. Alright, so what does Marris do? When this unit attacks, if you have a Great Shield of Greater Vanguard with Leuhan in its card name, this unit gains 5,000 power. So if you ride up to Grade 3 Leuhan and your soul is awakened, then Marris basically becomes a 15k attacker. Hey, that's wonderful. When this unit is put into the soul from the Vanguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard with Leuhan in its card name, if you Persona Road this turn, choose one of your Vanguards and it gains +1 drive. This means that if you have Persona Road with Leuhan this turn, and then you use them together to fuse summon Leuhan Marris, your Leuhan Marris will perform triple drives. That's it. Triple drive booster. That's the joke. I won't explain further. Very key card, so you have to place that for no compromise. Moving on to our grade 1s. Our grade 1s, we obviously play 4 copies of Benediction Sage, who is Leuhan's last own support. So yeah, that's gonna be the last new card for today. Or is it? We also play 4 copies of Divine Spring of the Dragons. So then we play 2 copies of the Crystal Beast for Keter. We play 4 Perfect Guards, and then we play 1 Leuhan. I'm gonna go through Benediction Sage because she's very important for this deck. She's the main reason that allows your deck to hit magic numbers, but she also recycles the key cards back into the deck, which kind of contributes back to the bloat, but we'll get to it. When this unit is boosting a unit with Leuhan or Marris in its card name, it gets 5,000 power, which means if you support both him or the horse, it's 5 straight away. When this unit boosts your Vanguard, choose up to 1 normal unit with Leuhan or Marris in its card name from your drop, and you can put it to the bottom of your deck. So have this girl at the center back so that you can always recycle key cards that have been retired or soul blasted. If you chose a card, you get 1 more effect, which is a counter blast 1, draw 1 card. Another half away, you have officially been retrenched. Of course, we play 1 copy of Leuhan for the right deck. We obviously play 4 Perfect Guards because we do want to stay alive. I find it hard if I still have to explain to you why we're playing Perfect Guards. I thought we were all, I thought we were all on this together. I thought we understood each other. So please don't let me down if I still explain to you. We play 4 copies of the Keter Sanctuary Crystal Beast. This one is kind of an interesting tech in my opinion, because for this card, something I've really noticed is that we Soul Blast a lot. So I wanted to put this in for both the defensive aspect and the offensive aspect. When placed on the Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle, remove 2 cards that were from your right deck from either the soul or drop zone and move them back to the right deck face up. If you do, you get 2 skills based on where they're called. If it's on the Rearguard Circle, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 normal unit card from among them and call it to the Rearguard Circle. And then if it's on the Guardian Circle, this unit gains 15,000 power. Yeah, that's basically about it. 15,000 shield, sorry. So it's either 20k shield or +1 for board. You can't really go wrong with this. So it's a nice card. And lastly, we have Soul Awakening Spirit, Soul Rinsing Spring of Dragons. This is the most important card in this deck, I would say, because this helps you build aggression, fill up your board, and also enables T-Vault to turn online. So this is something you do have to play at a 4 because it does play a role into Leuhan's grade 1 form. I know it at face value doesn't really make a lot of sense, but you will see why when I explain to you. Play this with Color Blast 1 if you have a Vanguard with Leuhan in his name. Choose up to 2 normal units from your drop zone. Choose 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, call it to the rearguard circle. Move the other card to the bottom of your deck. The called unit receives 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So this is a net 0 call, superior call from the drop zone. It's you basically got your own spiritual body condensation, plus you got to recycle 1 normal unit from your drop zone back into the deck. All for Leuhan. This is only for Leuhan, it's not a generic. You can't play this Majesty Lord. I know you want to, you can't. And yeah, I mean, really, this card's really good because how this works basically for Leuhan is that your early discards for the right deck will always be normal units. Then by playing Soul Raising Spring of Dragons on your turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, you can always just pay 1 counter blast, recycle your drop zone, superior core +1, give it 5,000 power. It helps to hop over magic numbers. It's very it contributes a lot in the long term, although superficially it doesn't seem very good. And last but not least, for our grade zeros, honestly is going to be very quick, so I'm not going to spend much time on this either. We also play 1 copy of Leuhan. This is for, quick starters. We play 3 copies of Probobi. We play the blue over trigger Eidos Farah, and then we play a total of 8 crits and 4 heals. This is a restanding Vanguard deck, and we need our pieces. The crits, the draws, the blue OT, everything just makes sense. And that basically covers my Leuhan deck profile / Leuhan Marris, because we cannot actually forget that he has a little friend. I think honestly this is a very fun deck to play. I think it's very interesting. I find it mechanically very challenging, and it really put me in a bind in terms of how to build this deck and experimenting with it moving forward. I will say though that this price point is absolutely dumb. Like, there is no reason you should be paying this amount of money to play a deck that at most only comes up to tier 2. At most, under the right hands. So if you honestly have this amount of money, just buy another deck. Seriously, just go and buy Triumphant Dragon and play the CNR in it. Play the Dragon by generics. You'll probably have a better deck than this. But if you're an actual fan of Youthquake, if you're a fan of Leuhan, if you're a fan of the manga, or you just like this aesthetic, or you like Mongolians in general, then you will love this deck, because very honestly, this is a very creative deck. I don't think we've seen anything like this in the history of Vanguard, except Raging Form, Youthberg, Alestial, and God knows what. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this DivineZ video, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me cover any more for the DivineZ. We are very soon approaching the quick start decks, which means I'll have more things to cover and actually have the physical energy crest to show you. But if not, other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care and Happy New Year.